Namaste. Sakshi, Sakshi. I am Priya Goteti. Welcome to Sakshi TV special show on Fun Factor with Anil Gandhi. He is the CEO and founder of Seattle headquartered AG FinTax, providing expertise and guidance nationwide to entrepreneurs and small businesses on tax planning, CFO services, wealth management, and PPP loan forgiveness process. He can be reached at anil@agfintax.com. If you are a CPA and would like to join our special Fun Factor talk shows, please email usa@sakshi.com or call 866-725-7441. Before we begin the show, please note that the information provided on this show is not a legal advice. Use of this content is for general information purposes only. Sakshi TV or its agents in the USA or our guests on this show are not responsible for use of information as a legal advice. If you need any specific advice, please contact CPA directly. So without any further delay, let's start our show. Hello Anil, how are you and welcome to the show.
I'm doing great, Miss Priya. Thank you very much. Thanks for inviting this show.
It's a pleasure, Anil. So Anil, can you please provide information on your AG FinTax offices, practice areas and your experience?
Sure, definitely. So basically, I have 17 years plus experience in finance professions as a CFO and controller. And I did also work in big corporates like Amazon, Starbucks, PricewaterhouseCoopers, and Sun Edison. That was my background. And right now, I have a team of CPAs, chartered accountants, and other finance professionals. And I am also a chartered accountant from India. So we offer services to the small business owners exclusively on tax returns filing, tax planning. I'm a national level tax planning expert. And we do also offer CFO services and wealth management services. And during this pandemic time, I got a great opportunity to work with many small business owners in helping them in getting some business funds from through government initiatives over this pandemic period. I'm so glad to share this dais with you, Priya.
Thank you so much. It's very awesome, Anilji. So during this pandemic, the one of the most affected industry is restaurant industry. So today we'll be discussing on $28.6p restaurant revitalization fund. So Anilji, most of the times we refer it as like restaurant relief fund or restaurant revitalization fund. So what actually it is and who is eligibility for that?
Okay. First of all, just I want to appreciate the government. Our government has come forward with a lot of initiatives and support initiatives to support business owners and individuals in the last 1 year. Trillions of dollars are being allocated to support this community, and after a lot of steps, recently in the month of March, $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan was introduced, by our new president Biden, and as part of this rescue plan, $28.6 billion are allocated for restaurant revitalization fund. So basically, these all are for the funds who are running the businesses with a focus on food and beverage related. So, and every restaurant can get up to $5 million, and we can go through in detail.
So Anil, only the restaurants, food and beverages will be eligible for this fund, and who are not eligible for this fund?
So there is a big definition given by SBA on this. So who is eligible? First, let me explain. It's a definition basically. Any restaurants, food stands, food trucks, saloons, inns, travels, bars, lounge, pubs, or any other place where the primary purpose of the location is serving the food and drink. And this also includes our restaurants located at airports also. So this is about the eligibility criteria. So now then I come to the who they have also given a list of businesses which are not eligible for this fund to apply for this fund. In that, a state or local owned government owned businesses or government operated businesses, and if any business owner who has more than 20 locations, so they are also not including their affiliates. So they are not also they are also not eligible to apply for this grant. And there are two more conditions also there. If any organization which is publicly being traded, that is not eligible. And the last one, if anyone is applied for shuttered venue operating grant, they are also not eligible to apply for this great, one of the best. I personally felt that this is one of the best grant given by SBA. So
So Anil, it's a very great initiation the government has started. But as you said, it is only giving if a business has 20 units. But because of this pandemic, I see large restaurants also have taken a big hit. So are they not eligible for this?
very good question, Priya. So it is not like that they are not eligible. What SBI has said is the first 60 days they want to focus on these areas, the business owners who has less than 20 locations. But if we have more than 20 locations, what they say is just wait for 60 more days. If the funds are left over, so definitely they will come with a different plan to help bigger organizations.
Mhm. That's good news. So what? How much an eligible entity can receive as a funding?
Okay, this is a very good question. I personally felt super happy when I was reading this act. Um, in individual location, a restaurant location can get up to $5 million as a government grant, and it's completely tax free. And an entity can get up to $10 million. Like example, a legal entity can have different locations at different venues, at different places. So all this together, a legal entity can get maximum of $10 million, including all their affiliates. Otherwise, if you go for just see for one location, any location cannot exceed $5 million.
So it sounds like a good plan, but suppose if it's me, by looking at this plan, if I wanted to start a restaurant, or if any of our viewers are planning to start a restaurant, so even the new restaurants will be eligible for this fund.
That is the great thing for with this restaurant revitalization fund. So just I want to give a small comparison with the PPP. So PPP has become so popular in the last 1 year because actually PPP really helped many small business owners when they are going through this pandemic time. So in the PPP, if any business was not there as of February 15, 2020, they are not eligible. But this is a contradiction with that completely. Any new business can also apply for restaurant revitalization grant. This is a great one. So that I am foreseeing a lot of demand for these grants because I personally have many clients who started the business in the last 1 year, but they were not able to get any benefits from they were not able to avail any benefits from the government because for many of the incentives, grants, loans, the cutoff date is February 15, 2020. So even any person started the business this year are going to start, they are also eligible to apply for this grant.
Oh, that's great. So will certain grants will be prioritized?
Yes, definitely yes. So they have said the first 21 days, they want to prioritize three types of categories. The first one is women-oriented business, led and owned by women, and led and owned by veterans, and and also economically disadvantaged social business concerns, socially and economically disadvantaged small business concerns. These three categories of people will be prioritized for the first 21 days of this fund's launch. And it doesn't mean that they will not take any other applications. They take applications from everyone once the date is announced. And as of now, the date is not announced when they're starting going to take these applications. But even they get a lot of applications, they want to prioritize these organizations only on priority. And what does that mean? As per our interpretation, as of now, we are yet to get a lot more clarification from FPA. But we believe that at least 51% shareholding should be owned by women or veterans. So then those businesses will be prioritized in this process because this fund is first in first out. So whoever applies first, they will get the priority. Just as I want to explain one more point here. Many people tell me, okay, we have a lot of time to apply for this. No, because 21 days they have to wait. No, what they say is you need to start applying on the date when they open up the applications. You will be allocated a number. You will come under the queue. So it is a first come first serve basis. Even on the day 22nd, even though they open up the box to process other applications, they consider the people who applied on the day one. It's a completely first in, first out.
So I think whoever were watching or who wanted to use this revitalization fund, please go and apply as soon as possible because it's first in and first out. So I think we don't delay it and just go and apply for it. So like you brought up this PPP loans. So what is the difference between this PPP and this revitalization fund?
Very good question, Priya. Many people confuse with what is a PPP, what is a revitalization fund. So PPP is a paycheck protection program. Specifically, they say that if you have an employees, come on, take money and you pay your employees. So even in the pandemic time, so that you are not laying off. But it's a grant. This is not a loan. So this restaurant revitalization fund is a grant which is a tax free completely and given to the businesses who are impacted because of the pandemic. And there is no compulsions that you need to have a payroll. If I come to my our Indian community, most of our Indian communities restaurants doesn't have or don't have W2 employees. So because they do a lot of cash transactions and they don't have W2 employees. So many restaurants were not completely benefited because of the PPP. So for those people, so this is a very great fund where they say that payroll is not mandatory. You take the money and use it for any business purposes, any operation purpose.
Mhm. So when
And
you
other thing is, sorry, and other thing is just I want to add, this is a grant, this is not a loan. So loan is like a PPP is a loan which you are supposed to pay it back unless it is forgiven. But grant works in a completely in a different way. It's a grant, it's just take away. Just someone is coming to your home and giving away the money to you. You don't need to repay it back unless you are not able to use the money. If you're not able to use the money, you are supposed to return funds to SBA by December 31st, after December 31st, 2021.
so by the time December 21st, how can this money can be used? Like they can use for their remodeling of the restaurants, or how can they use this grant money?
Okay, so this is also a good question. So once we get the money, so what is the purpose? How we can use the money? The what they say Act says is you need to use this money for business operations purpose, such as your payroll, rent, utilities, or any other operating expenses, business operating expenses. So and other thing is you can also use this money for any maintenance, like if you want to build some construction, some seating outside of your restaurant, or if you want to buy some furniture at your restaurant, maybe some desks or tables, or maybe any other small furniture for your restaurant, or if you want to buy some food and beverages, so because you buy food from outside and you serve it, so if you want to buy something, food and beverages and any other supplies are also included. And if we have any mortgage payments or lease payments for your business, those can also be paid. And rent, utilities also. As I said, utilities means gas connection or power supply. Those things also can be used. And the last, you can also use it for any PPP equipment or any cleaning materials because of the pandemic. You might need to incur some additional expenses to maintain your restaurant with a better cleaning facilities. So you can spend money for any of these purposes, and those all are allowed.
So we understand that this revitalization fund can be even used for like payrolls and PPP equipment. So if a restaurant is already taken like PPP loan, so they are still eligible, or if the grant will be cut short for them if they have already PPP loans or any other loans in their bucket?
Answer is yes, they are eligible. So restaurant owners can apply for PPP1, PPP2, and also for this restaurant revitalization fund. And but the condition here is if you got any PPP1 and PPP2, that money has to be deducted from your total grant amount. So that is how it works. Like I want to give an example. If you are eligible, we will cover how do you calculate it. But just if you are eligible $1 million as a grant, but you are already received some $250,000 in PPP1 and PPP2. So the net amount available for you is only $750,000. So, but if still the PPP got extended today, just 1 hour back, the PPP timeline got extended till May 31st. So if you have not yet applied for PPP, I strongly recommend go and apply for PPP1 and PPP2 if you are eligible. It's okay even though they deduct the money because the PPP is right now available. Just go and get what is available right now because the restaurant grant still we are yet to get lot more details from the government. So, but instead of waiting for the restaurant grant, just go and get what is there in market right now.
But who will be administrating all these funds?
Okay. So SBA will directly administer all this entire grant program. It is not like a PPP. PPP, you have to go and talk to different bankers, different lenders. I know personally many people submitted applications with different lenders for the PPP. 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 applications, 10 bankers also they need to go find out, fill the application, everything. But now there are no mediators now for SBA. So it's a direct SBA is directly giving the funds. You need to directly get into the either sba.gov website or grants.gov. So you can apply. We are not very sure where the application will be launched, but you can apply in any of those one websites. And it's direct. Get onto the website, apply it. There are no mediators unless you are seeking for some financial support, some financial advisor to help to work on behalf of you.
So once if a restaurant applies for this revitalization fund and if it gets approved, so how long will it take for them to access these funds?
Got it. Okay. So the process as of now, it's not very clear. As of now, as per the American Rescue Act plan, SBA has to come forward with a complete plan and launch the program within a maximum period of 60 days. So which will be ended, I think, in the by May 10th, I think around. By the time they should launch this product and completely should be available. But as of now, we don't know when it will be launched. But we are expecting in the early first week of April, SBA is coming up with a lot more guidelines on what are the applicabilities, who is applicable, what is the process, and they are also expected to release an SBA an application form for this grant. And once the funds are approved, then we are not very sure on the timelines at this point. So, but once it is approved, definitely you should be getting it soon.
So, Anil, if it takes April or May to get it approved, the total grant or the expenses, they have to be completing it by December, right? December 31st, 2021.
Yes, you are right. So this is a very good point, actually. So whatever funds you receive, it can be $100,000, it can be $10,000, it can be $2 million. Whatever the number it is, you have to use the money by December 31st, 2021. However, SBA has the right to extend this period to the maximum of 2 more years. But at this point, it's only by December 31st, you should use the funds. If not, what happens? You need to return the money. And we are also expecting SBA will ask you to submit a complaints funds usage form. So like, come and prove me how much money you spend, for what purpose you spend, and if any money is left over, they have to return it back to SBA. So, and if you are planning for some business expansion, I think this is a very good opportunity. Get the money and use the money by December 31st.
Mm-hmm. So this money, this grant money, can they use it for collaborations, affiliations, or starting up new branches? Can they use this money for that?
Okay. So they cannot use, okay, there is as per our interpretation, they cannot use the money for the business expansion purpose or to do a lot of big capital equipment purchases. This is the purpose of this grants is only for the business operations. So how much they can use the money to run their business? Like example, I just said they can buy even furniture at their restaurant. They can buy the tables because they are required to run their business. But can they use this money to buy a restaurant, different location? Answer is no. It's not at this point. So
do the applicants have to make any kind of certifications for this grant?
Yes, certifications are required. So basically, there are a couple of certifications what they are required to do. Number one, only people who are uncertainty of economic conditions, current economic conditions, can only apply for this. Or no, I'll put it another way. If your business is going through a uncertainty of current economic conditions, which are making him necessity to apply for this support. It means your business should have gone through financial crunch or financial hardship. Then only you need to go and ask for this money. If your business already has a lot of cash reserves, if you don't need any money, or if your business is not impacted because of the COVID, you are not eligible to apply for this loan, for this grant. So certification is technically you have to sign saying that yes, I really need of money for this. Number one, and number two, you also need to certify saying that you have not or not going to apply for shuttered venue grant. So this is one more grant we can talk in some other TV, some other live show about the shuttered venue grant. So if you are applying for this restaurant revitalization grant, you are prohibited, or you cannot apply for shuttered venue operating grant. You can apply only for restaurant revitalization or shuttered venue operators grant. And the other point which I want to mention here is there are no safe harbor rules. Again, I want to give a reference to the PPP. So because PPP has become so popular, so that's what I'm trying to give a PPP reference so that it's easier to compare. As per PPP program, if anyone got less than $2 million as a PPP loan, they are by default assume they need money. They need funds to apply for PPP. But here, for this restaurant revitalization fund, even you are applying for $10,000 grant, you have to certify saying that yes, you are in need of funds. So this is a very good, very important certification. People should know of this.
So, for suppose if a restaurant has already taken PPP grant and they cannot be able to provide certificates saying that they are in the financial crunch or because of this COVID, they are facing some losses. But because this grant is like a grant, like revitalization grant, but PPP is a loan. But they already have a PPP loan, so they can close it off or they can move to this revitalization grant. Can they do that?
Okay. So even the PPP is a loan, if you use the money for the given purpose, it will be completely forgiven. It's a tax-free money. But there is one more step there. You have to use the funds for the given purpose. But there is no migration facility available. So you already got a PPP, so that amount you can move it to the PPP. That amount you want to move it to the restaurant revitalization grant. There is no migrations are available in this case.
Mhm. And also, like before, we discussed that even the new restaurants can apply for this revitalization grant. But new restaurants, I think it would be very difficult for them to prove a certificate saying that they are facing this crunches or financial crisis because of this pandemic. So, still, I think they can apply for this grant.
Okay.
Or
So then I think if I explain how do we calculate the restaurant revitalization fund grant eligibility amount, then this will help you to answer your question. Let me take this a bit back step to explain how do we calculate this restaurant grant. An example. Yes, we discussed now in the beginning of our live show how much money you are eligible. Every restaurant is eligible, every location is eligible to get up to $5 million. But what is the basis to find out how much money they are eligible? I will take some step back and I will explain this in detail. If your business is in existence as of 2018 or even before, then the formula is given saying that take your 2019 total sales revenue, whatever the sales you have, whatever the sales you made at your counter or its online counter, the total sales minus 2020 sales. So the difference is, if at all, if the 2020 is less, then only compared to the 2019, then only you are eligible for this grant. It means you need to have a pandemic related revenue loss. So what is the loss? Loss is nothing but the difference between 19 revenue and 20 revenue. This is the step number one. Step number two, whatever the money you got, reduce PPP1 and PPP2 loan amounts from that eligibility. The difference amount, whatever is there, that is the amount is what you are going to get as a restaurant revitalization fund grant. I want to give one example here so that our viewers can understand this a bit more better. In 2019, if you are a restaurant owner, and in 2019 you had a sales of $1 million as a sales, just a sales as per your tax return or as per your sales tax registration, sales tax reporting, sales sales tax reporting. If you have a $1 million revenue in the year 2019, look into your 2020 sales. I have seen many restaurants got impacted because of this pandemic. In 2020, if your sales were only $400,000, so the difference between 2019 and 20 is $600,000. This is the amount first step number one. Step number two, if you got any PPP1 or PPP2, it can be 2021 or 2020. When you receive the PPP, doesn't matter. If you received the PPP fund, an example, in PPP round 1, you might have received $25,000. In PPP round 2, you might have received $25,000. So the total PPP 1 and 2 together is $50,000. So in the step 1, we have a balance of revenue loss of $600,000. Deduct this $50,000 from the $600,000 and the difference amount, the net balance amount, which is $550,000, is what your restaurant grant. This is a very, very big number for many people because whatever the loss, it's a direct revenue replacement. It's not profit replacement, it's a revenue replacement. Number one. So this is how we calculate money for 2009 for the restaurants who are open as of 2018. Okay. If you open the restaurant in 2019, how does that work? So in 2019, if you open it, whatever time you open, maybe January, April, or December, whenever it is, doesn't matter. So what they say is identify what is our average monthly gross receipts. It means whatever the sales, example, if you open a restaurant in the month of October, November, December, 3 month sales, you just add all these three sales divided by 3, which will give you average monthly gross receipts. So this average monthly gross receipts has to be extrapolated for the full year. That is into multiply by 12 will give you expected 2019 sales number. If the business was in place for the full year, this is what they would have made for the full year. Then that is number one. Now take the 2020 sales, which is a full year, which you already have it because you started the business in year 2019. So the extrapolated 2019 revenue minus 2020 revenue, the difference, whatever the amount is there, after deducting PPP loan amounts, that is what you are eligible to for restaurant revitalization grant if you start your business in 2019. Then go to the third level. If you start your business, this is what your answer for your question. If you start your business in 2020 or in 2021, now what happens? There is no comparison period in 2019 for comparison. So then what you do? What they say is, every restaurant is not eligible to apply for restaurant revitalization grant. Your business should have impacted because of pandemic. So what does it mean? When you are running your business, if you have any loss, like example, I want to give an example. In 2020, you started the business maybe in the month of May 2020. From May to December of that year, the total sales you made in the business is $400,000. Just I'm giving some examples. But your expenses were $600,000 because you didn't make enough revenue to recover your expenses. So that when you prepare your financials, that is the income statement, you see a loss of $200,000 because $400,000 minus $600,000. This loss is recovered. This loss will be completely paid to you by SPA. So if you start the business in 2020, all your losses will be replaced with your grant after deducting PPP loan amount. If you start your business before 2019 or 19 or before 2019 or in 2019, your revenue losses will be replaced by America Restaurant Revitalization Grant. So it's restaurant level. So it's all about how much money you are spending. I will take one more example. If I start a business now, I wanted to start a business, restaurant industry, restaurant business. I started only in the month of February. I took a property. I'm still incurring some expenses to pay some employee salaries, and I'm paying rent, and I do also have some other expenses. But even I have not even opened my doors yet to the public. In this case, my sales is zero because I have not yet opened it to the public. In this case, so then what happens? Government says whatever expenses you are incurring, SBI is saying entire money they will reimburse. So because when there is no revenue and if you have expenses or lesser revenue, you have more expenses, it is called as loss. So when you incur any losses, those losses will be completely refilled by restaurant revitalization grant after adjusting PVP loan money if you received any.
We are discussing on the topic $28.6p Restaurant Revitalization Fund, and today we are with Fun Factor with Anil Gandhi. So yes, Anil. So right now, I understood how the grant will be processed. So among the restaurant industry, has the bill prioritized any of the restaurants?
As I mentioned, the priority is given to only the women-oriented businesses. The women-oriented, the three categories: women-oriented and veterans or business distressed businesses, small businesses. So only those three businesses will be prioritized when they are processing the application. The first 21 days is exclusively for them.
So first it will be women, then comes to veterans, then small business. Then
it's not like that. No, it's not like that. They will process all applications whatever comes in these categories. Three together. So
okay, got it. So do we have any express limitations on this spending?
As of now, there is no express limitation as per our interpretation at this point. They cannot use the money to buy any capital assets or otherwise expand any business expansions. So they are not supposed. The purpose of this grant is only for business operations, which is nothing but a working capital. So, and at the end, we are yet to get lot more details. But we are expecting we will get lot more details by next week. But why we are trying to have this show now, or why we are trying to spread this news, is just we are bringing an awareness into the market, so that there are many thousands of hundreds of thousands of restaurants are there which are impacted, and around 1 million restaurants are there in America, in United States of America. So there are many restaurants. So I want everyone to get some awareness so that they will get ready to do this. And there are a lot of some pre-work is also to be done. So that which I will explain as we go through that. Even though they are opening this fund in the next couple of weeks, there is a lot of work to be done now. So which I will explain it. Go ahead.
So how long will it take for an applicant to submit their request for this grant?
Very good question. So you cannot, at this point, if example, today, if you want to decide, yes, I want to apply. First, you need to apply for DUNS, which is a DUNS and Bradford registration number. It works like a social security number for the business. Like example, a business credit can be tracked with the DUNS number. So the DUNS number is very important. So first, what they say is first go and get your DUNS number one. Number two, okay, I think even just for viewers, DUNS means it's a data universal numbering system, which is given by Dun and Bradstreet. It's an organization. It's a process. So and it will take approximately 2 days to get this number once you submit your application. Number one. After that, you are expected to register for SAMs. SAM means sam.gov. It means US federal government is a system for award management. Whenever government wants to give some awards or grants, the applicants are supposed to register with the SAM. So it's a free process, but it will take up to 2 weeks to complete the process. So the first 2 days is for the DUNS number. Once you get the DUNS number, that number has to be used when you apply for the SAM's number registration. So once you get the SAMS number, which will take approximately 2 weeks, then you need to send this letter, the SAM number, a notarized letter. You need to send it to Federal Service Desk. This is completely a bit a new procedure what government is recommending, and to send this fax, you send this over the mail to this Federal Service Desk. So all this process, it will take approximately 2 to 3 weeks of time to get this. It's a pre-work actually. Even before applying it, you need to get ready with all this. That's what I say. Even though it will take couple of weeks, or maybe even by end of the April, even the restaurant SBA start taking applications for restaurant grants, you need to start working from now. So if you are not familiar with the process, go and work with your with financial advisor, because these all are time consuming. It cannot be done over the night. It cannot be done in the next couple of hours. It will take few weeks to complete the entire process and and get ready to fill the filled application and submit to SPA. And at this point, we don't know how complicated the application would be, as of SBA has not yet released any application format at this point.
I always had this, what is the Samson dance number? So thanks for clarifying that, Anand. I think most of the viewers now understood like what Samson dance number is. So like when is the last date to apply for this grant?
Okay. As of now, there is no last date as given. No, I mean, it's not yet opened up. Once you get the application, on the application they will mention what is the last date. But at this point, it's not yet public.
So, what do you think for the restaurants? Like, response would be: is it easy for them to get the PPP loans or the this revitalization grant? So, what do you think the restaurants would respond to, and which is easy?
Okay, PPP loan. Getting the PPP loan is much easier because just there are so many banks are there. Lot of banks, many banks have come up with very streamlined, very simple design of application process. So, but this is it's a government, SBA is a government organization. So government organization processes are delayed a lot of times. So, and the response, because in the last 1 year, I personally worked with many SBA officials for EIDL, Economic Injury Disaster Loan. And many business owners might have applied for that, which is a 3.75% interest at interest rate they have given it.
Okay. So what do you mean exactly by this affiliated business when restaurants are trying to do this?
So the affiliated means if a restaurant owner has more than 50% stake in any other restaurant, or if the restaurant itself has any 50% stake in any other restaurant, then it comes under affiliation. So when we look into this $10 million limit or 20 locations, this affiliation rule will come into the picture. So all together, it should not exceed 20 locations, or should not exceed $10 million in funding. So.
Okay. So if an entity has already taken a PPP loan and it has been forgiven, and are they still eligible for this grant?
Answer is yes. As I said, yes, they can apply for the PPP. Money can be forgiven. Whatever the money they got already, that money will be reduced from this restaurant revitalization grant. Even though the funds are not yet forgiven, still they have to get this money from the restaurant, the grant amount.
So what is the restaurant's response to this APR?
It is great. It was one of the best ever grant given by government to a restaurant industry. And as I mentioned, 1 million plus restaurants are there in the US, and many businesses got impacted because of the pandemic. Many restaurants, 1 in every 10 restaurants got closed during this pandemic time. So this is a very great support to the restaurant industry. And I personally request everyone, whether you're eligible or not, please schedule your numbers. Many people, when I talk to restaurant owners, I notice they're not very clear on what are the sales numbers. So don't do any interpretation, don't assume anything, just go and look into the numbers. But if anyone wants any help, I am happy to help the people to help you, to guide you on how to apply for this grant, or how whether you are eligible or not. So you can reach out to me. but I'm happy to, because this is a lifetime, one-time opportunity. If your business is really impacted because of the COVID, this is an opportunity for you to get it. So don't miss this, and you should target to get this. And get ready. Don't wait till the application is open, because you have to get DUNS number, you have to get SAM's number, and you need to send this to the Federal Service Desk, which will take a lot more time.
Yeah. Like you said, during this pandemic, the most affected business industry is restaurant business. I think it's one of the most affected industry. So I heard this term like pandemic-related revenue loss. So what exactly it is?
Pandemic revenue loss means if the business is down, the business is down by but down in year 2020 compared to the 2019. In 2019 there was no pandemic, but in 2020 there was a pandemic. So, and if your business is down, it is considered as a pandemic revenue loss. What they say is, if your business is down because of the pandemic, yes, I will replace your revenue with a grant. So,
Mhm. Okay, like some small restaurants, like they always depend upon to-go's takeaways. So they may not be much affected because of this pandemic. If suppose they did not get affected because of this pandemic or COVID situation, and the sales revenue compared to 2019 or 20 is not like, they do not have any drastic drop in that. So, but they're still eligible for this grant?
very good question. I have seen some of my clients' business is not impacted because of the COVID. Even though initially March, April, May, June they got impacted, but after that it picked up. The business got picked up because of the two goes, and yep, because of the two goes, the business really they have done good job. So if the business is not down, it means there is no pandemic loss, no revenue. When there is no revenue loss, I'm sorry, you are not eligible for to apply for this grant.
Mhm. Will it be applicable even to the large chain of restaurants? Because if you see like some large chain of restaurants, maybe some branch, some of them, some of the place, some of the location might be working really well, but some might be facing some of their branch office or some other restaurant might be facing the drastic losses. So even then, the large restaurants can apply for this grant.
Yes, they can apply. As I said, there are a couple of conditions. They should not have more than 20 locations, and to the maximum of $5 million they can get. So yes, they can apply, but yep, ineligibility criteria we have to look into this. They should not be publicly traded, and they should not have any government or other state organizations should not operate the businesses. It should be independent.
Mhm. So you said that like minimum 20 units or 20 units for a restaurant. So do we have any cap even for the employees? Like a restaurant should have minimum 20 or 500 employees, then only they are eligible for this particular grant. Do we have any limitation on that?
No, there are no restrictions on employees. There is no restriction on the revenue also. Even though you are making, I mean, just I'm connecting with some other task revenue. So no, you can have an employee. You don't need to have an employee at all. Even you don't have any, not even one employee, still you can go and apply for that. And there is no limitation on the revenue. If my revenue is only $10,000, can I go and apply? Answer is yes. My revenue is $50 million. Can I go and apply? Answer is yes. So there is no limitation on the revenue. There is no limitation on the number of employees.
I think that's a great news. I think then most of the restaurants can apply. It's a good news to all the restaurants.
Yes.
um, I also hear that like most of the time restaurants use private funds. So what exactly is this private fund?
Okay. So private funds are a bit different from what these grants are. So private funds completely, like, I mean, they can pull the funds from outside public. That's called private fund. But I don't want to get diverted into the private fund at this point, because already people might have confused what is this grant, PPP loan, and everything. That is completely. It is not a grant. This is not a government support initiative. The private fund. So yes, I don't want to get diverted into that. But it's completely different.
Okay. So even though if I just wanted to ask this, not to deviate more onto this topic, but if a restaurant has taken a private fund and also has this PPP, we know that if they have taken a PPP loan, they're still eligible for the grant. But they're still eligible even if they have some private, if they have already taken some private funds.
Yes, they are eligible. Yes, they are eligible.
Oh, I think it's a very good news to all the restaurant owners out there.
Yes,
So
definitely.
yeah. So what is this covered period?
Okay. So as I was okay, once you get the funds, you can use the funds for the business operations. But for what period? An example, in many cases, restaurants are not paying the rent for the last 6 months. That they can go and pay it now. So the definition of the cover period is any expenses you incurred in the period February 15th, 2020 to December 31st, 2021. So this is almost 1 year, 10, 11 months. So February 15th last year to current year 2021 December. So this entire period is called cover period. So if any last 1 year bill invoices payments also, you can do it now by using this funds. So if you're not taking your salary, if you're not paid salary to your employees, just you can use the money to pay salaries also.
Oh, that's good. Because you referred to salaries, so what is this payroll associated costs?
Okay. So payroll associate cost, again, this is not much relevant to this PPP, this restaurant revitalization fund, because this money can be used for any other business operations. And this fund is not being given based on payroll funds. What is your payroll cost? No criteria. Here the criteria is only sales. So in general, as per SBA, the definition of the payroll cost includes gross salary plus if you have any insurance premiums, medical insurance premiums, if you incur anything, those together is called payroll cost. But in this case, for this restaurant revitalization, it is irrelevant point.
Mm-hmm. So is it mandatory for them, because we discussed about the certificates that they have to provide when they are on a financial crisis? So if any restaurant couldn't provide that, any certificates, so still they can apply for this?
No, they need certifications. Means, as I said, there are two types of certification. One is registrations, other one is certifications. Registrations are mandatory. You need to get a registration number, like SAM registration number, DUNS registration number to apply. Certification is just saying that yes, I am facing a financial hardship. So when you are submitting an application, you have to certify. Otherwise, if you are not facing this, if you don't want to certify it, you are not eligible to apply for this grant.
Mm-hmm. So we don't have any limitations on the employees. We don't have any limitations on the revenue or the number of locations. So do we have any other limitations for this getting this revitalization grant?
No, there are no limitations as long as the business is in operations. So if your business, you already closed your business, I'm sorry, you are not supposed to go for this. Once you get the funds, maybe in the next couple of months, you close your business permanently. Then you are expected to return the money, whatever money you got after spending the money. An example, you got the money in the month of May. In the month of July, you close the business. So yes, you can use the money till you close the business, but the balance money, leftover money, you are supposed to return to SBA.
Mm-hmm. And like you said that this bill is mainly prioritizing women, veterans, and small business. So if at all they couldn't apply because the new business or any other thing, they have to get this jumps number, SAM number, like there are a lot of things that the restaurant have to do. Pre-requests are there for applying this grant. So if at all they're unable to meet it in time, so do they have any extra window for this, for any women business owners or anything? Do they have an extra window?
No, there is no extra window. They have to go through the same process. But at this point, no. But maybe in the future, SBA may come up with some new provisions. But at this point, there is nothing like that. They should have all those required pre-work has to be done, pre-registrations has to be done to become even eligible to apply for this grant. And all these registrations we are explaining based on the public information, whatever is available from the government websites. But as of now, SBA has not list out what are the exact details are required for this restaurant revitalization fund. As I said, in the next month, by April first week, we are expecting SBA will release some notices and some clarifications on this process. So then we will have a lot more clarity on this process.
Okay. So far, with whatever the information that is available to us, we know that by December 31st, 2021, we need to spend this money. If not, we have to return back to the whatever the remaining amount, we have to return it back. So this kind of limitation, is it there in PPP loans?
PPP loan is also a sort of, because it's a different dimension. Once you get the PPP loan, you have to use the money within 24 weeks from the date of receipt of the funds. If not, it is considered, and within the 24 months you have to use it, and that money can be claimed as a forgiveness. But if you don't use the money within 6 months, within 24 weeks, that money has to be repaid within the duration of the loan, which is 5 years. So, which is from the date of receipt of the loan, within 5 years, if you don't use the money within 24 weeks, you have to return it with 1% interest. But here in this case, I mean, grant is a bit different. I think definitely people should be able to use money for the grant, because you can even buy some furniture for your restaurant. So just they can buy a couple of tables, furniture, or something. So that with that itself will take away a lot of cost, so a lot of funds. So,
So, what is this PPP? Like, what are the requisites for this PPP forgiveness for this loan?
no, PPP forgiveness is not connected with this restaurant revitalization fund at all. So even you apply, if you want to apply for a PPP forgiveness, yes, go and apply. Or if you want to wait, you can apply. But it is not PPP forgiveness is not connected with restaurant revitalization fund.
So, according to you, do you prefer this PPP loans or this restaurant revitalization loans?
Okay, at this point, yeah, as of now, I prefer PPP because that is right live available. I love restaurant revitalization grant because it's a very big help for the restaurant owners, because people, many restaurant owners were not able to get all the benefits from the PPP. So this is a great opportunity for the restaurant owners. But at this point, as of today, if you ask me, only PPP is readily available. Go and get what is available. So then once everything is launched, then we can see maybe in the next month, in the month of April, you can apply for revitalization fund. But I personally love restaurant revitalization fund. It's a great money, free money, which no restaurant owner expected at all about this fund.
I think that's a great initiation. I think having this relief fund, I think most people call it as relief fund, I guess, or
Yes.
restoration, revitalization fund grant. So, what advice do you like to give to the restaurant owners?
Take action now. Don't wait till last minute. Would wait for a lot more details. Just start working on. Start working on. If you are not very clear on the process, contact the financial advisor to help you on the process. Otherwise, otherwise you will lose the time. And by the time you application is open, and if you are not done with your registrations, you will lose a lifetime, one-time opportunity you are going to miss. It's a free, tax-free money completely. So so take action now. Get all your documents. Get your tax return ready. 2020 tax return ready. Get your 2019 tax return ready. Get your quarterly income statements like 2019 and 20 quarterly how your business is performed. Income statement is profit and loss account. Get your that document. Get your SAM's registration number. Get your DUNS registration number, and be ready to certify that, saying that your financial company is going through financial hardship. Once you have all this documentation, you are ready to go and apply for a restaurant revitalization fund once they open up the application.
Mhm. So, do restaurant owners have any other options, like apart from this PPP loan or this revitalization grant or having this private fund? Do they have any other options available?
There is one more called employee retention tax credit, and if we have W2 employees, then only this come into the picture. If your business is there, as per the ERTC grant, employee retention tax credit, if your business is closed, shut down, either partially or fully, then you are eligible for this restaurant, ERTC employee retention tax credit. It is a direct, straightforward payroll tax credit SBA IRS is giving to you. So if your business is shut down last year, then for every employee, whatever salary you pay during the year, 50% of the wages or $5,000, whichever is low per employee, you can get it for the last year 2020. And for 2021, every quarter, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, every quarter, if your business is shut down partially or fully, even though dining is not open, it's a partially shut down. Or if your business is shut down, but the business is down by 20% at least in any quarter, any one condition if you meet, you are eligible for employee retention tax credit. So if you are eligible, then you can go and apply for this employee retention tax credit. Every employee can get up to $7,000 or 70% of the wages, whatever you pay to them. It's a very big number. Like example, if you have 10 employees, it's a $70,000 per quarter. In a year, it is $280,000. So per employee, last year $5,000, this year $28,000, $33,000 per employee. So this is a very big number which you are going to get. So don't miss this opportunity. And if you need any more details, please do some research or contact me. I'm happy to guide you. But it's a one-time opportunities. When if your businesses are impacted because of the COVID, enjoy all this, avail all these benefits, optimize the benefits, and get the best for every get the best from every plan or acts or incentives governments are being announced. Governments are announcing.
Yeah. So I just wanted to get this confirmed. If an business already has this employee retention credit tax, already they have taken it, they're still eligible for this revitalization grant, right?
Yes, they are eligible. Right, you are right. And you don't need to deduct anything from there, so you are eligible there.
Okay. And this employee retention credit is a loan or a grant?
Okay, it's not loan, it's not a grant. It's a credit. It's like every quarter, our employers are obligated to pay payroll taxes when they run salary for their employees. When they owe payroll taxes to IRS, they say, okay, you are eligible this much of credit and you don't pay me your payroll taxes. You can keep the payroll taxes with you. So it's a credit. It's a instead of paying to an IRS the payroll taxes, you can just avail this credit, reduce your liability. So then yes, this is a direct straightforward money is what you are going to get.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also tax free. So you don't need to pay anything for that tax, no taxes on this grant. So on this credit also.
So if how do you want it to rate this? Like if you like what do you choose like in order? Like we have this PPP loans, we have this revitalization grant, we have this employee retention credit, we have this private fund. So how do you want it to rate all this like in an order? Like what do you prefer first?
Okay. So the first one which I want to go with the PPP. PPP is a dollar to dollar. Just go and get it, which is readily available. Then go for restaurant revitalization fund. Then if there are any ERTC employee retention tax credit is there, before applying, if you have some employee retention tax credit, go and apply. But once you get the funds, once you get restaurant revitalization grant, then reconsider applying for the employee retention tax credit based on the rules. As of now, we need to see how you are using these funds in an optimized way. So you need to be a bit cautious when you are applying for employee retention tax credit after you receive the grant. So this is the sequence 1, 2, 3. And if there is anything, the private funds are there, which is in the last category. So 1, 2, 3 as the first high priority.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Anil Gandhi, for coming to our show and for providing us with such informative session. It will be an immense help to all our viewers and especially who belong to this specific industry, restaurants. I hope it has been an informative session to all our viewers. This is Priya Goteti signing off. You are watching Sakshi, Sakshi. Thank you.